Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Presidential aspirant Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is currently in Mandaluyong City for a campaign sortie. To give us details, we have Dale De Vera on the line. Dale, good evening. Can you tell us the latest, please?
Around before their campaign, here around Makati with senatorial candidate Herbert Batista. Joining them was his son, Sandro Marcos, who is running congressional seat in Ilocos Norte. And now in Mandaluyong City, of his campaign manager, Ben Abalos.
We'll circle back into Dale De Vera for that story. Meanwhile, more on the Pulse Asia survey. Presidential bet Marcos Jr. continues to lead the presidential race. Coming in second is Vice President Leni Robredo with 16%, followed by Senator Manny Pacquiao, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, and Senator Ping Lacson. Meanwhile, Moreno tops the second choice preference for the top post, followed by Senators Ping Lacson and Manny Pacquiao. Now, as for the first choice vice presidential preference, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte tops the survey with 50%. Coming in second and third are Senators Tito Soto and Kiko Pangilinan, respectively. Soto leads the second choice preference for the second top post, followed by Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte and Senator Pangilinan. The survey was conducted from January 19 to 24, 2022. Now, circling back to our top story, presidential aspirant Ferdinand Marcos Jr. again is currently in Mandaluyong City for a campaign sortie. Let's get details on that. Dale De Vera is joining us back on the line. Dale?
Riza, the unity team first made the rounds around Makati before their campaign sortie in Mandaluyong City today. This morning, the camp of Marcos Jr. went around Makati City with senatorial candidate Herbert Batista. Joining them was his son, Sandro Marcos, who's running for a congressional seat in Ilocos Norte. They are now in Mandaluyong City, which is the bailiwick of his campaign manager, Ben Abalos. The camp is welcomed by City Mayor Menchi Abalos, San Juan Mayor Francis Zamora, and other transport leaders. Meanwhile, Marcos Jr. topped the latest pre-campaign period survey of Pulse Asia. 60% of the respondents chose him over other candidates, 7% higher than the figure in December. His running mate, City Mayor Sara Duterte, also led the survey for the second top seat. Riza Marcos Jr. won in Mandaluyong City during his vice presidential bid in 2016, and they're also hoping to win again this coming polls. Riza?
Thank you. That was Dale De Vera reporting live from Mandaluyong City. And we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. still watching One News Now, I'm Riza Diaz. With only a few months left before the election, some voters are still undecided who to choose for the upcoming polls. To help them, local developers may be interested in developing a Tinder-like voting app, just like what these French students did. The details in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
This app is kind of like Tinder, but instead of matching you with a date, it matches you with a president. The French presidential election is fast approaching, and as always, you have the question of how to convince young people to cast their vote. So this app gets you to swipe left or right on hundreds of proposals, and at the end you get a result with the candidate you're supposed to vote for. It was made by two young French students, and it's been pretty successful since its launch early January. So what's interesting is that you can actually scroll through the different subjects like environment, economy, education, and then you can actually see the program of each candidate. This Elise app now has information that some French political parties would die for. Some analysts are drawing comparison with the Cambridge Analytica scandal back in the US in 2016, where private data was used to influence voters on social media.
Because of their preoccupation about the data, we took this decision. The first one to delete all the data. The second one was to publish the code of the app publicly, what we can call open source. We believe in transparency. We think that confidence is a key to make people interested in politics again.
A recent poll by IFOP actually shows that 59% of French people aged between 18 and 30 years old are not planning to go vote for this presidential election. So even though these apps, of course, have their drawbacks, they can be useful to convince some young voters to go vote.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Filipinos in crisis-hit Ukraine are under close monitoring, according to the Foreign Affairs Department. The agency says it is in close coordination with the honorary consulate in Ukraine's capital through the country's embassy in Poland. The DFA is encouraging some 380 Filipinos there to report any incident that may occur. Meanwhile, the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration has increased the deployment cap for healthcare workers. The ceiling has now doubled at 7,000 from 3,500 limit in early 2021. The annual cap is set to ensure that the country has enough healthcare workers amid the pandemic. And pump prices are set to increase for the 7th straight week. Unioil projects that the prices of diesel would increase by up to 1 peso and 10 centavos per liter. Gasoline prices are likewise expected to go up by 1 peso and 20 centavos. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.